Hello, and so I'm back for another episode of these. It was over a month ago since I did the first one, so it's a great start on the time limits. So, since last time I've went to two events. I haven't played that much. One was before the points change, one was this weekend. So, before the points change, I went to the winter, play against the Winter Wookiees up north in the workshop. Organised and run by Mark Ryder, so most people know him. He's quite a good guy. He's always giving prizes out, and he's always at the big events. Just generally quite a cool guy, to be fair. So I've rocked up there with the Cloud City guys, Lee Williams, Ian Wardle, and Sparkles. Or, yeah, Ian Wardle's calls Sparkles. Let's keep Sparkles. Yeah, so we travelled up. It was a couple of hour drive, I think it was, but it was alright. 10 of us there. We had, including Miles, who's a recently Warlord veteran. After this event, not before this one. Scott Byron, who most people will know from the big events, and some quite nice cards he gets made. And there's a few decent players up there. So I went day before points change. I tried to play resistance. So I used Han with Trickshot and Ray because Ray is absolutely stupid on the Falcon. And I used Poe, R4 and S foils, and Lula, the A wing with Trickshot. Yeah, just Trickshot. So obviously the list doesn't survive the point update. I have to drop a Trickshot, but the rest it's fine. But the list is 200 points. So against other particle sixes, it does seem to struggle a little bit. But on the day, there was a couple around actually. So it's the last day before points update. So some people took it quite casually, some people bought some stronger stuff. And my list is probably in the stronger stuff, I guess. So round one, I was up against a Guri, Palob, and Han build. Now, Han has Greedo, which is going to hurt. So he shoots first. So he actually gives himself the initiative because he decides it doesn't matter too much. And this was a round again. This was really close. I scrape a victory, and the victory sounds worse than what it is. It's 200 to 109. But when you consider this game was on a knife edge for such a long time, it was back, forth, back, forth. His hand struggled and actually flew off the board, but I think it had one or two hole left at that point. I've been harassed by my A-Wing, and he got, what did he get? Can't do anything but straight manoeuvres on one hole assigned he had, so he had to try and get out, and he couldn't. But the game was close. He ran it to the end, 109 points. I can't remember what he got for that. It was over a month ago now. But I just remember it being quite a tense game, and it was pretty good. Round two, up against another Particle 6, the two in a row. And the first of the next three Imperialists. I play Imperials the rest of the day now. But anyway, round two, up against Sontifel, great, Duchess and Rexler. Now, this game was going quite badly, if I'm honest, until I got lucky and Han one-shot Duchess. And that's won the game. Obviously, the other big event is one was quite early on when Sonti took a range 3 shot from Poe. Now, the other opponent thought it was out of arc. I actually thought it was out of arc, but we checked it just in case, and it was in arc. So because we all thought he thought it was out of arc, he didn't actually take a focus on. So range 3 from Poe puts 2 holes straight onto him. So Sonti's living a dodgy life, but Rexler was wrecking. In fact, it was wrecking everything. So Duchess got one shot. I needed that at that point because I was behind. A-Wing was already down. Poe and Han were, I think Poe was at half points at this point, or Han was at half points. One of them was limping quite badly. I can't remember which one was limping. I think it might be Han actually, more expensive one. But yeah, so they're both limping. But Rexler does go down under sustained fire from both ships in the end. But it was quite a long game, and we finished 5 minutes before the timer was up. But yet I got the fastest win, which there's 5 games gone. There's 10 players there. No one finished before time, except us, which was just strange. Never seen that before. So I got the fastest win, which gave us some prizes. I'll talk about prizes at the end, but so yeah, it was really good. So that was a 200 to 85 win. Now, round 3, I was paired down to play Scott Barrett, who was using Redline, Countdown, Kagi, and Jonas. Now, this was a funny game. Quite early on, well, it was without the first engagement, I think it's the second or third engagement in, he forgets to set a dial with Redline. No one else would do, so we just dialed him 2 white straight, so he wasn't on a rock or anything, he won't be hitting anything. And so we thought that would be fine. But what the game ended up turning into was very much, I skipped over red line, I put all my ships pointing at Jonas, removed them from the board. Point my ships at another ship, removed from the board. And as soon as a couple of ships started dropping, it was Kagi first. I think it was Kagi first, everything pretty much. And yeah, so we called it there. And again, I got the quickest win that round somehow. So I passed. The quickest win gave you a choice of a little book, a little fold-out book. I've got it around here somewhere, but I think it's in the cupboard, and I'm going to knock everything out, get it out. And it's quite cool. I got a Ewing for round 2, and there's some other choices, but I passed it on to Scott for round 3 because well, we got the fastest loss, I guess. Look at that way instead. Round 4, which is the finals, only 2 of us left on 3-0. I was playing against Fell, Whisper, and Redline. Yay! Obviously, with a big bid. Now, this game was a funny one because I think my opponent set up wrong, and he got caught out by it. And I forgot to set my hand arc, which was my own fault, but the opponent let me off for it. But so what happened round 1 was first turn, I went fast with all my ships to try and catch Redline out of the ordinary. But if he turned, he'd been fine. He'd have got out, which was what I was expecting. But I thought, well, I've got a bundle, I've got to take the chance. And he did go forward. And Redline, yes, was going to shoot a talk this turn at my A-wing, but I've got all 3 of my ships shooting him, so I hopefully can put some serious damage on him. And this is where things weird. So the A-wing survives. It takes 2 or 3 damage. It survives just though. And then this is where my dice go absolutely mental. And I put him down to 2 hull, including 3 crits on him or something absolutely stupid. So it's not a great start for Redline. So I'm quite happy swapping A-wing for Redline. But the next few turns next turn, he chucked a bomb forward with Redline. Oh, it was double stress, got this stress crit, which meant he had to go for a rock. But he chucked the bomb over, went over the rock, took the damage from the rock, and then the bomb killed him. Also, it did damage to mine as well. It didn't kill the A-wing, so I got the A-wing out of there. Fell did kill the A-wing a few turns later, but losing Redline was quite hard. Whisper took a couple of shots of pounding from Han and Poe. Whisper did really well to outmaneuver my Poe for a few turns, but his dice on reds were just not helping him at all. So Whisper ended up going down to a couple of shots from Han, and then it was just Fell. I kept trying to block Fell. I couldn't get the block on him, to be fair. He was doing really well at stopping that, but because he's trying to not get blocked, so not get shot, he's not shooting me. And in the end, the damage told, and Fell went down. So only losing 39 points again. But again, 4th round and quickest win again. And so again, I passed my opponent. So I won that one, which was, the prizes were absolutely stupid for it. I can't show you a picture because it's on my phone, which I'm recording off of. But we had loads of Scots Ark cards. We had quarter 1 kit. We had quarter 1 range rulers and all them. The bomb tokens. We had charge tokens. We had quite a lot. And if I show you the picture, that is unreal. I got guns for hire set. I got a few bits in the end. It was a massive part of the prizes. It was unreal for a 10-player event, and I'll post a picture up. But yeah, it was huge. So that was that one, and then I haven't played for a few weeks, and then I've popped down to the Warlords with the same list last Tuesday, which would have been 19th, 18th February. I've got a calendar next to me. I played the same list without Trickshot on Lulu. I lost to Miles, and I won 2 other games. But the list felt very much. Everyone's got particle 6s with big bids at the second, and it scares my list because Poe will just go down. He hasn't got the tricks in his list. And so I went to this Saturday just gone, 23rd. A while ago I booked in to go to the Hobbit Hut in Charis. Now, obviously, the Ray event, which apparently raised a lot of money. Well done, Lewis and Jess for running that because it sounded like a great event. It was a little bit far out for me because it would have been probably another night in hotel. But then the Warlords also had their way event, but I'd already booked Charis at that point, so it wasn't going well. So anyway, I told Charis, and there was only 3 of us turned up: myself, Phil, and Callum, which is fine. We hoped for a few more, but we just had a laugh. We all played each other, but I've got everyone's lists for 3 of us because it was actually quite an interesting list. So Phil, who hasn't played since 2.0 come back, he put a shuttle to 2 Tempests, so 4 ships Imperial build, which it could do some damage, but you could tell he hasn't played in a while, and give him a few games, he'll be back playing well. Callum bought the Resistance 5, or Resistance PS5, LO9, Lulu, and the other A-Wing PS5, I can't remember my own right now, Ninja. Yeah, so that was a good list, and I did my traditional net list, Rastas, Wedge, and Han, because I wanted to see how it works, because I get the idea of all the rerolls and everything, but in my head, it just... Dice only get you so far, but obviously flying well will get you the rest of it. But all the rerolls in that list is absolutely stupid when you start looking at it. So Callum played Phil round 1, and Callum won. He won by 22 points. So it was a very, very tight game. And on the last turn, Phil had a shot at 9, I think it was. If 9 took one more damage, Phil would have actually won that one. So it was very close. Round 2, I played Phil because we did it randomly. We didn't bother doing win against phone because we didn't do a buy. We just said everyone play everyone. Who comes out on top wins. So I played Phil. This was a very brutal game. Wedge started playing with tricks early on. Got a nice auto, for us to talk, or for us the free boost after this fast move, and went around, target locked, and one shot his turn, so took off the board. I then focused on the shuttle, and it got him off the board in the end because shuttle had gonk, so it gave him an extra shield back. But in the end, Han and Wedge was too much for him, and then the Tempest just popped 1-1. That was a 200-0 win, which was absolutely brutal. Phil didn't deserve that. Phil, Han's green dice with all the rerolls was absolutely mental. And then I played Callum in the last round. So winner of us wins everything, and because only 3 of us, we had quite a lot of prizes on grabs, which I'll show you in a second. Me and Callum had a very, very tight game. It was back and forth for a long time. He lost the ship. I had both mine down to half. Lando was on 2 or 3 hull, and he was and Han was just able to dodge his arc on one of the turns previously with Wedge, half point his A-wing, but he couldn't shoot back. Next turn, Han just went 4 straight over an asteroid. This is the last turn to dodge 9 again, and instead of taking a shot with Wedge, I used R2D2 to regen above half points. So it was out of rush kill the A-wing, and the points were better on the Wedge than to kill the A-wing. So you got to think about things like that. But the game was back and forth because the combination of LO being able to white talent roll and 9 being able to do effectively a white K turn if he does it properly was quite nasty. And he got very nice kill boxes on Han, but I think at key points his dice didn't quite push damage through, mixed with Han just rolling rerolls and evading quite a lot. So his dice couldn't quite do it. So I won that one 116 to 58, I believe that says. Yep, 58. So there's only 3 of us, which is a shame. We was hoping for a few more, get at least get 8 or 10 down there normally. But that was at the Hobbit Hole in Chatteris, which is a great place, and I haven't been there for about a year to be fair, and they've redone the place. It's absolutely lovely. But yeah, I'll try and go down there more often when there are events. They did quite a lot of prizes because they don't run X-Wing very often. They put everything in the kit on basically. So we got all the little quick play cards. It's through them. They're quite nice. These are. I haven't played in a quick play event yet. And you got Blackout. So some nice cards. Obviously, they have engine upgrades away. We all got a few of these. It's quite handy because I've got one on my list. Then you got the Upson cards. Got a couple of these. And on the back of it, you've got some nice art, which is the same as the front. It's a shame they didn't do something double-sided of that, really. They could have done quite nice there. But I suppose it's printed at the same time. And then you've got the Blue Squadron with Scourge on the back, which are quite nice. I like the Blue Squadron art. I really like that, actually. I might find some Blue Squadrons. Heroic, which I quite like the art for this as well. I've got a couple of these in there. Right there. So again, nothing on the back, just the elite particle pairing. And then we got 7 force counters, which I quite like these. But the only problem with these ones and the charge ones, which was silver, is I don't think they're clear enough on when it's flipped or not. So I'm probably gonna have to do a little bit of painting on one of these, put some pink on it or something to make it look forcey. I've got 2 of these seismics, which are quite nice, very see-through. They go nicely with the freight ones. We've got 1 actually. Also, we got some plastic cards. So you got the Heroic plastic, which is very shiny and very nice, and it also comes with Epsilon on the back. It's quite nice, that one. And then one of my favourite ones again is the plastic one of these. It's very shiny, as you can see in the reflection. But that art, again, I quite like that art. I think I might have to find a list of 4 of them in maybe. And then you have the Range Rulers as well, which I think most people have seen anyway. It's got a little 2 on them. Also now, let's go the whole set, which are quite nice. But that's it on the tournament side of it, and the game side of it. So the big thing really at the moment is the point exchange. Now it's still going on. There was an open in Canada yesterday. Of course, this is Monday. It's Monday the 25th. So yeah, ignoring what happened in the final because what happens. And at top level event, no one knows what they're doing at the time, and I do believe it may have been enforced by the judge anyway, not the player. But it's interesting. The two final lists were Rebel Swarms, 5 and 6 builds. I was sitting going, it's not how I saw the point change going. You have got Imperials around, but Imperials seem to have dropped off. They seem to have maybe hammered a bit too much. Scum, I think, are still really good, but people seem to have avoided them a little bit. Rebels seem to be the big winner. Resistance seemed quite strong, but I look at that they opened. I'm sitting there thinking, Rebel Swarms everywhere. Great. So we're back to Swarm, but no, Swarms would be different to what I had. Swarms have plenty of weaknesses, high pilot skill aces, and things like that. At the end of the day, though, that's one tournament. It needs to settle again. It'll take another month or so to settle, and then we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we won't see a proper meta appear, and then it'll be people flying what they want, but that's not going to happen. Something will appear for the next few months, and then it'll get nerfed into oblivion in when the next one's going to be June, July-ish, August, whenever the next one. I think about summer. And that'd be interesting because at that point, at the moment, I don't know what they'll change. Maybe they need to bring back Imperials into it a bit, but then we might see Imperials start coming back in soon anyway. Because I think Vader as a ship instead of crew is actually pretty good. 3 force charges, particle 6, with a big enough bid. He's quite tough. Maybe he does lack a little bit of damage output that some of the other particle 6s have, which is Fen, Wedge, Han. Can't think of anyone's on Poe. They're all 3 dice, and obviously Vader's only 2. That's the next thing about what we're seeing a lot at the moment. We're seeing big bids if you're flying particle 6s, because before the points change, we seem to see a lot of particle 5s. And we're seeing big. We saw Bob Aguri running 16-point bids. We saw that Sontir, Whisper, Red Line, Deathline, one of the two, running about 14, 15-point bids. But most of it was because it's particle 5. But because of hyperspace and the points change, it seems to push people to the particle 6s. We've seen Wedges appear quite a lot. We've seen Pose. I'm starting to see the Falcon appear, which is quite nice actually. I say I copied Raster's list, which is great just to have the Falcon back on the board again in some sort of solid way. But against these swarm lists, I don't know what it would do. Might be alright, maybe not. It's flying by skin of your teeth, I guess. Fen is definitely around still. And the particle 6s are starting to come back quite heavily at the moment. And it feels like you haven't got a big enough bid, you're in trouble. Especially if we do start saving Vader from the Imperials. Because with a bid, he can move last and he just sits outside your arc all the time anyway. And he's just going to sit there pinging you. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. But I'm expecting to start seeing 18, 19-point bids. And I've noticed a few people have mentioned that they've got lists with that kind of bid. Which is quite scary actually, because that's almost another ship. You would have thought that in 1.0 people were talking about 3-4 points, that's a big bid. And now we're talking about really big bids. What this being about 10 points in 1.0, that's just absolutely mental. I know we saw like 1.0 at one point, we saw Whisper and Echo and bits like that, but that was a bit different. But this is just huge. We can almost put another ship in. But we'll see what happens. But we've got the system open coming up in just over a month. Actually, I'm totally not ready for that. I can't know if that's extended or not. I don't know what's going to win that one. That's the UK one in Milton Keynes, which is quite nice for me because I'm local for that one. It's half an hour, 35 minutes down the road, roughly. So that'd be quite good. Keep playing them. I don't know what the format is. I think it's Swiss Day 1, Knockout Day 2 or something. I don't know if it's similar to last year. I haven't paid much attention to the premium events this year because I've been paying more attention just to trying to play some games, which seems to be a struggle this year for some reason. I haven't been to as many tournaments, but I missed out the Warlords in February. I'm hoping to try and make one of the days in March. But February's been a bit of a slow month for gaming actually. One tournament, which was Charis, because the points changed in January, yeah. But it'll pick up down there. Obviously, come Nationals again, and then Worlds in the end of the year. There's plenty of big events coming. Europeans in Poland, which is August, I believe. I haven't officially announced it yet, but it's whenever the other big Keyforge or other big event is in Poland. I think they've hinted at. Don't quote me on that. Don't go and book hotels on that. But yeah, that's basically it. So what I'm going to say now, if you want to ask me any questions, ask me questions, and I'll try and answer them on the next show. I'm slowly moving to a better background, which is not quite there yet, as you can see. I'm moving into my other art room, so I've got my own corner. I'll move up. So I've got my shelf up, got some pictures up. My desk is quite empty at the second, mainly because it was filled up with her art stuff, as she's still trying to clear stuff out. But it'll get there in the end. I'll go a little painting tables. I'm going to start playing some Legion. I've got some Legion on the way. Yeah, so I've got some paint starting to build up already. There you go. I don't paint, so it'll be interesting to see how badly they come out. But it's just quite like the idea of doing some painting for a change. I haven't done any in years, not since I left Warhammer, which was many, many years ago. But yeah, very interesting. Right, thanks for listening and watching. If you've made it this far, it's a different scenario. But otherwise, I'll see you next time or in a tournament soon.